Hello, you're welcome to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobi Osei. Coming up on the dashboard today, Ghana's GDP expands by 32.4% following rebasing of the economy from 2006 to 2013. Meanwhile, some customers of gold dealership company Men's Gold Ghana Limited mass up at various branches of the company to demand their matured investment. Also on the dashboard, IMF cautions government on missing revenue target for 2018. Meanwhile, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana sets up a committee to investigate members involved in the collapse of some 7 banks. Details of these stories and others, including exclusive interviews, analysis on the top trending business stories, coming up in the next 30 minutes. It's to our first story. Now, Ghana's economy has expanded by 32.4% following the rebasing of the economy from the 2006 to 2013 base period. By rebasing the economy, the base year for calculating the gross domestic product, GDP, which refers to the monetary value of all finished goods and services produced within a particular period, has been moved from 2006 to 2013. As a result, the 2017 provisional rebased annual GDP stands at 256.7 billion Ghana cedis. Compared to the old series, the rebased GDP expanded by 24.6%. Acting government statistician Bawadie has been explaining further.
The announcement of a new base year for the economy is in fulfillment of international practice, which requires countries to rebase the economies at least every 5 to 10 years. Rebasing GDP, which is revising the methods and base data used to calculate GDP, has become a growing trend among African countries in recent years. As a result, the 2017 provisional rebased annual GDP stands at 256.7 billion Ghana cedis. Compared to the old series, the rebased GDP expanded by 24.6%. Acting government statistician Bawadie explains further.
International practice, it is recommended that the GDP should be rebased after every 5 years. Well, a lot will depend on your availability of data and the sources that would come in to help you rebase, and your skills or the methodology that you can effectively master to do all this rebasing. But for the current, we've mentioned that the base year is 2013. And we're mentioning that for 2013, we had inflow or a convergence of a lot of data sources, which helped us to do this rebasing.
When you look at
all the sectors expanded and all the sectors grew, but some grew more than others. Industry, for example, we mentioned grew by 15.7%, and it was the area that we recorded the largest growth. And within industry, oil and gas grew by over 80%, which was large. Agriculture grew and services also grew, but the growth in services was smaller than we observe for industry and agri.
The process, which provides a clearer picture of an economy's size and structure, has implications for a wide array of economic stakeholders. By this, economist with DataBank Courage Kingsley Mate says the rebased economy isn't going to change the economic standing of the citizens, but will give governments some room to borrow. He, however, warns that governments should be cautious in doing so.
With a bigger base in GDP, there appears to be a borrowing space now, because if you look at the 2017 debt stock against the rebased 2017 GDP, you'll be getting about 55.5% debt to GDP ratio. So it appears there's been a borrowing space created. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because the implication also for the revenue side is that the tax to GDP ratio has also dropped from 15.7% to 12.6% as at end of 2017. So then, my policy prescription will be to prioritize bringing up the tax to GDP ratio to at least 16%, but preferably towards 20%, right, before we start exploiting the borrowing space.
Now, surveyors in the country are asking government to resume processes for the passage of the Survey Council Bill. When passed, the Survey Council law will address various issues such as land dispute and improper valuation, which the group says accounts for some disasters. Although it was drafted some years back, the bill is yet to be presented to Parliament. There is more in the following report.
The Survey Council law will, among other things, curb the activities of quack surveyors who promote the land guard menace, one of the major challenges affecting land administration in the country. According to the Institute of Surveyors, the delays in the passage of the bill is very frustrating as efforts to get it presented to Cabinet have proved futile. President of the Institute, Kojo Hohoabu, says successive governments have abandoned the bill.
You see, when there is a change of government, then it has to go back. So at the end of the last parliamentary session, it has to be brought back to the ministry. So the bill is now at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. So we've been following up, and as the minister has said, they are about to send it back to Cabinet, and then we hope that the government will move on.
The Institute also wants the Real Estate Management Bill passed to streamline activities in the real estate sector. The Institute believes that the two laws will regularize activities in that sector. The laws will reduce dubious transactions by some estate developers and brokers. Meanwhile, Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister Benito Owusu-Bio has assured his outfit will submit the Survey Council bill to Cabinet by end of the year. He is confident the two bills will be passed by the end of the current administration.
Putting sanctions against those people, which is also part of it. And then we've also extended it a bit into interstate succession and all that, and customary inheritance to do with land, and all that has been brought into that law. So it's I would say, it's a holistic one, which would help in regulating and ensuring that land administration in Ghana, all its problems are solved once and for all. The beauty of the real estate management bill is that is also going to regulate issues of estate management. So, for instance, conveyance, that is transacting in interest in land or property. It has built in various processes by which you can do it, and those who can do in those sort of businesses. For instance, all the estate agencies that we know, those who put up signboards and whatnot, currently they are not regulated. So somebody says, I'll give you 1 room here. Meanwhile, he doesn't even have any interest in that building, but he's able to do that because he's a bank person and there's nobody checking him. Now all these people are going to be regulated.
Now, moving on away from that, some customers of gold dealership company Men's Gold Ghana Limited today massed up at various branches of the company to demand their matured investment. This follows an announcement made by the company yesterday stating that customers whose investments matured before 12 September will be giving their funds upon demand. There is more in this full report.
Agitated customers of Men's Gold visited various offices to withdraw their dividends. At the headquarters of Men's Gold in Jolu, a tentative schedule for the mode of payment was made available to them. Per the schedule, payments begins today, 28th September, and ends on the 18th of October. This was for customers whose extra values matured before the 12th of September. Some of the customers who spoke to City News were excited about the schedule.
I think it's a fantastic step because had it been other banks or other institutions, they wouldn't have been able to even come out with this payment plan and yet start paying people.
We were supposed to take it last month and it didn't come true. So I'm rest assured that, let's say, from the 5th to the 9th. Those who fall for the range, we will be rest assured to take our money. So there's no big deal about we not having our interest or something.
Desmond, a customer of Men's Gold, however, expressed concern about the exclusion of customers whose dividend matured after September 12.
We have a problem with the schedule. That is, they said they're paying from August 5th to 12th of September, which we are not buying because those of us whose dividend has been matured on 19th, that means we are out for September, which is not cool with us. But they said they're meeting the board, so by the close of the day, they'll come out with something that will benefit everybody.
Another customer who spoke to City News described the approach of paying the dividend as a breach of contract.
Men's Gold is trying to deceive with the customers because per their press release yesterday, they said anyone who has investment that matures before the 12th of September, they will pay us. And when we came here this morning, their PRO is contradicting their press statement yesterday, which was said by the official PRO, George Kui. He said that if you have an investment that matures before the 12th of September when they shut down, when you come, you will be paid according to a payment schedule. But today, they are trying to contradict themselves. And that's very unfortunate for Men's Gold to do that.
Per the schedule for the payment of the matured extra values, Men's Gold started paying the customers today. The last batch of customers will receive theirs on the 18th of October. Reporting for City News, Hansen Ajeman.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. We're going for a break. When we do return, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Ghana sets up committee to investigate members involved in the collapse of some 7 banks.
Let Dumare bless you with body.
We brought you not 1, not 2, but 3 of the city's biggest lockdowns on a cross one and only funky and fresh jam. This time, may the 4th be with you as the Body Beach Hotel and 97.3 CTFM present the 4th edition of Funky and Fresh on Friday, 28 September 2018. Funky and Fresh, the 4th edition with DJ Gaddafi, will be another one to remember as the whole capital comes to a standstill as we boogie and have a blast till you crash. It's great cocktails, excellent music mix, and dancing feet to make your Friday night come alive. Book your place and make reservations now. Call 0544-431-213. Funky and Fresh is powered by Labadi Beach Hotel and 97.3 CTFM and sponsored by Big Ideas Consult, Bacardi, Voyage is a Freak, and Let's Be Seated.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
quero ver todo mundo balançando. Ninguém pode ficar parado. É só loucura. Mexe.
Witness the twisted and tangled story of betrayal, greed, vengeance, and love in the award-winning Brazil Avenue. Carmenia, a woman led by greed, gets rid of her husband, who is Rita's father, and sends Rita away to a filthy landfill. Rita finds love in Batata, but they are soon separated by adoption into different families, far away from each other. Many years later, all paths cross again, as Rita, now a renowned chef, seeks to pay back her stepmother for taking away her happiness as a child. It's the story of twists, turns, suspense, and thrilling action in Brazil Avenue. Brazil Avenue, coming soon only on City TV. Brazil Avenue.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Live music, interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV. Join Kojo Akoto Boateng for real entertainment right in your living room. Saturday Live on City TV and City 97.3 FM.
Wherever the weekend sporting action happened, we will bring it to you here on Scorecard. Every goal, every dunk, every punch, the winning strides, and the winning volleys.
International media, he said, look, wait, sit and wait. Let me have a meal with my people. And I think that's the same cool, it's the same organization he brings to the field every time I've seen him play. He looks to me like somebody who's played over 50 caps already. Okay. But this guy has barely played over 25 caps for the national team.
All of the weekend's action in one place. Scorecard, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. prompt on City TV.
Good evening, this is The Point of View. We're live on City TV.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
We need taxes to run the economy. How do you do it sensibly and have the least pernicious effect in terms of cascading through the economy? And I think that is the thinking that is required. It's not a denial that we need taxes, you know, and I think that is the difference in the two administrations.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
months, because we're giving only those in their third trimester. So in the next 3 months, those in their second would be ready to receive the kits. And we're taking data at registration, which is before they take the kits, at delivery and post-delivery, so that we can analyze and we'll see the numbers. So from the numbers and the data that we're collecting, we would know what has worked, what hasn't worked, you know.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV. Every Thursday night on City TV, you're welcome to join women from different backgrounds and opinions as they weigh in on your relationship issues. Watch Sister Sister as the ladies get real with issues about love, marriage, betrayal, sex, dating, trust, finances, and more.
Is and his goals and aims and ambitions, including like marital life or children. You should know that from the beginning. And when you have a deep conversation, you should be able to sense the vibe or the energy, but you should have that conversation so that you know what you're going in for. And then you advise yourself upon what you want and what the person wants.
Join Jessica and her sisters for City TV's all-women talk show, Sister Sister, every Thursday at 9 p.m.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Quero ver todo mundo balançando. Ninguém pode ficar parado. É só loucura. Mexe.
Witness the twisted and tangled story of betrayal, greed, vengeance, and love in the award-winning Brazil Avenue. Carminia, a woman led by greed, gets rid of her husband, who is Rita's father, and sends Rita away to a filthy landfill. Rita finds love in Batata, but they are soon separated by adoption into different families, far away from each other. Many years later, all paths cross again, as Rita, now a renowned chef, seeks to pay back her stepmother for taking away her happiness as a child. It's a story of twists, turns, suspense, and thrilling action in Brazil Avenue. Brazil Avenue, coming soon only on City TV. Brazil Avenue.
Well, welcome back to the Business Dashboard on City TV. We do apologize for the long delay in the transmission. Let's bring you some more stories. Now, some women stakeholders in Ghana's cocoa industry have blamed poor access to credit as the main challenge hindering their improved contribution to the cocoa industry. According to them, the low level of ownership of cocoa farmlands by women prevents them from getting credit from financial institutions. The comments were made at the official launch of the Women in Cocoa and Chocolate Network Wing in Accra. City Business News was at the event. Speaker after speaker at the official launch of the Women in Cocoa and Chocolate Network Wing highlighted the key role that women play in sustaining and growing Ghana's cocoa sector. The president of the Achimamsa Women Cocoa Farmers Association, Madame Augustina Tete, spoke to City Business News about the need for all women in the cocoa value chain to be supported.
When you take about I would say about 95% of the cocoa industry, getting the cocoa planted is women. Getting it harvested, women. Fermenting, even drying, before you put it on the mat, is women. The banks are no more giving credit. The few banks who will give credit, what is the collateral? They will need to see the farm. If you have papers, how many of us have even, asked a surveyor to survey? We don't have site plan. Most of them don't. They don't have registered lands. So you go to the bank and they ask you for all these things. You are not able to do it. So they deny you. But when the man goes and tell them, this is my land, he will be giving the credit. So we are appealing to Cocoa Board to design a system whereby we women cocoa farmers can be given credit.
Speaking as a special guest of honor for the launch of Wing, a Deputy Minister of Information, Amadou Isiama, highlighted the immense benefit of having a well-supported women base within the cocoa sector.
Whilst Wing aims at engaging, connecting and inspiring women through the whole cocoa and chocolate supply chain, members of the association should be supported to advance the development of women's rights and their human resource capabilities enhanced. This will equip them with the needed and requisite knowledge, enable them take up key leadership roles in the society, and help mitigate the gender inequalities and disparities that has to a greater extent characterized our society. Women cocoa farmers are central to the sustainability of the cocoa supply chain and cocoa growing communities.
The Deputy Executive Director of the Seed Production Division at Cocoa Board highlights the steps Cocoa Board is taking to support women in cocoa.
Working on cocoa production, women form about 25%, but their role is, when rated, is about 75% of the work done during the cultivation, harvesting, processing of the cocoa within the farm families. Women do 75%. That has been analyzed. And for that matter, if women are not supported, that role may not be finalized or exploited to the full. Yeah. And for that matter, Cocoa Board has identified this and given a lot of support to the women. They are gathering the women to form groups, to form cooperatives where they can access finance, money to do their farm businesses. And so with this, we also support them with knowledge, technical know-how.
The Women in Cocoa and Chocolate Network Wing is the brainchild of Solidaridad, a not-for-profit organization that supports the sustainable development of farmers and production systems. The objective of Wing is to stimulate women throughout the cocoa value chain to increase their impact on the sector, become more visible, and connect more with other women. Well, on the international front, Facebook has said almost 50 million of its users were left exposed by a security flaw. The company said attackers were able to exploit a vulnerability in a feature known as View As to gain control of people's accounts. Now, the breach was discovered on Tuesday, Facebook said, and it has informed police. Users that had potentially been affected were prompted to re-log in on Friday. The flaw has been fixed, wrote the firm's head of security, Guy Rosen, adding all affected accounts had been reset as well as another 40 million as a precautionary step. Facebook, which saw its share price drop by more than 3% on Friday, has more than 2 billion active monthly users. The firm will not say where in the world the 50 million users are, but it has informed Irish data regulators where Facebook's European subsidiary is based. Users that had potentially been affected were prompted to re-log in on Friday. However, the company said users did not have to change their passwords. Since we've only just started our investigation, we have yet to determine whether these accounts were misused or any information accessed. We also don't know who's behind these attacks or where they are based. He added, quote, "People's privacy and security is incredibly important, and we are sorry this happened," unquote. Well, moving on. Well, in some other stories, the Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors of Ghana have threatened to embark on a demonstration by the end of the month if government does not honor its promise of paying monies owed them. The association has expressed disquiet about the issue, saying they will no longer take any excuse from government after the deadline elapses. Executive Secretary of the Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors of Ghana, Cherry Emmanuel Awusanya, tells City Business News they will embark on a massive demonstration if government does not do the needful.
We may demonstrate, but that depends upon government's commitment as well. But our demonstration is not going to be just ordinary demonstration as others normally just take to the street and then move around. No. If we are going to demonstrate as contractors, the government must believe that we are going to take over the structures that we have constructed. If it's road, we are taking road. If it's building, we are taking over the building. We don't care whether students are in class or not. We are taking over. So if government wants this, then it should drag its feet. But if it doesn't, then quickly should take a step and pay the contractors.
Now, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has advised the government to commit efforts to achieving revenue targets for this year. The fund views the rising expenditure, despite shortfall in revenue, as a threat to the government's plans for the year. These, amongst others, were the issues highlighted by the just-ended IMF mission's visit to Ghana. There is more on the fund's observations in the following report.
The mission, led by Annalisa Fedelino, noted that for the government to achieve the revenue target for this year, it will need to adopt more robust measures which will enhance tax compliance and reduce unwarranted expenditure. For this year, government is seeking to raise a total revenue of 50.68 billion cedis, while it intends to spend a total of 61.6 billion cedis. But citing recent economic data published by the Bank of Ghana, the Bretton Woods institution said the figures displayed increased expenditure as against lower revenues, particularly from import duty and VAT. The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, in the mid-year budget review outlined plans to tackle the revenue shortfall, such as prosecutions of tax evaders and corrupt tax officials. Also, he mentioned the establishment of a special VAT attack force to ensure enforcement and deepen VAT penetration, as well as audit of taxpayers. But the IMF wants the economic managers to go beyond these if the government is to be successful. Other issues that the IMF mission discussed and commended the government for included the drop in inflation, as well as the cleansing in the banking sector.
In other stories, the Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation, Dr. Anthony Akotose, has stated that government will go ahead to process the rest of the documentation for the $2 billion Sino-Hydro-Bauxite deal. The assertion follows initial assessment conducted by the International Monetary Fund upon a request from the minority. Now, speaking to City News, Dr. Akotose maintained that the clarifications entrenched government's position that the deal is a good one, hence will continue the process.
But thus far, their legal office does not consider it a loan because there's no government guarantee. Thus far, that is their legal office is saying. That is a matter. Yes, it's a matter. Yes, that's what the leader of the mission said.
Moving on, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana has set up a committee to investigate its members who worked with the 7 collapsed banks. This follows report by the Bank of Ghana stating that the collapse was due to mismanagement of funds by managers of the banks. 2 of the banks collapsed last year, while the remaining 5 were consolidated by the central bank last month. Speaking to City Business News after a luncheon, President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, Professor Kwame Adom-Frimpong, said those found to have contributed to the collapse will be severely sanctioned.
That we have set up a committee who is doing the investigation to find out if this collapse of the banks, part of it came from our members, the fourth part of it came from our members, we will deal with them. So as at now, I can't say the fourth or the causes of that collapse came from our members. So you should be patient for us to finish the investigation we are doing. Already set up the committee. So by at least 2 or 3 weeks time, you come out and you see whether our members were at fault or not. Are qualified. You have a chartered accountant. You have all the requirements like anybody, internal and external person who is also a chartered accountant. So I'm saying the fault, we don't know where the fault is coming from. But we believe the training we have given to our members and going by our motto of integrity, we at the top there, we know they did a very good job. Not to say they are not our fault, but after the committee come out with their findings, you know whether they are fault or not, then action will be taken against them. Because we believe they have to do a very good job for all the banks.
Well, turning to the cocoa sector, a report by Reuters says plans by the world's top cocoa growers, Ivory Coast and Ghana, to harmonize bean prices are unlikely to have much effect on world markets because of differences between their marketing systems and minimal domestic processing, Fitch Solutions analysts said. The 2 countries account for about 60% of global output, but exert limited influence over international prices, which have stayed low in recent years due to overproduction. In response, they struck a deal this month to coordinate their farm gate prices for the upcoming October to September growing season. The collaboration is meant to emulate the OPEC oil cartel, but a report by Fitch Solutions, a unit of ratings agency Fitch, said that would be difficult to achieve, citing wide differences in how Ivory Coast and Ghana export their crop, most of which leaves West Africa in a raw or semi-finished state. Though the country's influence on global supply and international trade is substantial, various structural barriers will inhibit their ability to manipulate the cocoa market, unquote, the report said. Talks between Ivory Coast and Ghana followed intense market volatility over the last 2 years. Now, Ivory Coast was forced to cut farm gate prices sharply last season, while Ghana incurred losses of at least 2 billion cedis. In order to effectively harmonize prices, Fitch Solutions said one of the countries would need to overhaul its market structure, but neither side has indicated it is prepared to make wholesale changes. Ivorian farmers sell cocoa to international producers such as Barry, Calibre through state-organized auctions, meaning local prices are relatively responsive to global price changes. Well, many thanks for staying with us on the Business Dashboard on City TV. For more news, do visit citybusinessnews.com. My name is Bobby Osei. Many thanks for your time. Do enjoy the rest of the evening.